Hey guys, so today we're going to be looking at the join clause in PostgreSQL, and we're going to be starting off with inner join. So here we go. Okay, so today we're going to be starting with inner join. So inner join is basically it selects the records on both sides of the table, and it's the default type of join. So if you just write join, for example, so here we have three examples that we'll be going through today in the university DB. So the data looks a bit different because I've changed the names of certain students and stuff, but you can just ignore that. So basically, inner join is the default type of join. So if I take away the inner, it's going to give the same result because it's basically the default, as I said. So you can join either two or three tables. So basically, we'll just be sticking to two or three tables here. And the last example that we'll be going through has three tables. So here the first one is basically to retrieve the name of all students along with the names of the courses that they're enrolled in. So before I run this, the first thing I'll do is start with running displaying the tables in question. So I'll select everything from students first. So here we have from students we have student ID, name, age, gender, major ID, and total credits. So since we need to get the name of all students along with the name of the courses they're enrolled in, that's why we have name over here, and we have the course name. And next we have the table courses. So then we have, it's a bit less here, so we have course ID, course name, and credits. Now if we go back to students, so here, now we need to, since as you can see over here, there's nothing that's same, we don't have the same column in these two tables. So now we need to find something that matches both of them. So here we have the enrollments table, which is basically enrollments. So in enrollments, we have course ID and we have student ID. So enrollments has something that's common, it has something from student ID and it has something from course ID. So that's basically how we're going to be joining it. We're going to be joining it on enrollments, basically. So here we have select name and course name, as in the two columns that we want to select from students. And then we're first joining it to enrollments. So on student ID, so student ID, because there's a student ID column in students table, and then the student ID column in enrollments table. So we're joining students and enrollments. And then we're inner joining courses with that. So then we're doing inner join courses on courses.courses ID or course ID. So this one basically, and enrollment course ID. So this one. So because students have something in common with enrollment and courses have something in common with enrollments, we're using enrollments to join both of them together. But we're not actually taking anything from enrollments itself, if that makes sense. So here we have, so now if I run this, as you can see, we got the name. This is from the students table. So the name column. So here you can see we have Alice, for example, and a bunch of other students. And we have yeah. And then we have course names. So each of the courses of students, each of the courses that each individual student has. So for example, Alice has data structures and student 3 has about 4 courses here. Then student 4 has 2 courses and so on. So that's basically the first one. Here we joined it on enrollment. Next we have that we need to find the major name for each student. So for each student what the major name will be. So then we have, so I'll just comment this back out for now. So we went through the students table already. So then we have majors. And now if I run it. So here in majors, there's only 2 columns. So one is major ID and one is major name. And if we go to students again, then you can see we have major ID. So here we don't need anything in common. In the first query, we needed to use enrollments in between to join them both. But since students has something of major ID, or since student has like something which is like the same column that's in majors. So in majors there's a major ID, and in students there's a student major ID. So that's why we can join it based on that. So now, this is why this one's like pretty short compared to the first one. So here we have select name and major name from students, and then inner join majors. So like from students, and then we're inner joining majors, and then we have students.major ID, so this one, and then equal to majors.major ID. So we're joining on that one. So there needs to be like a common column that you can join it on. So then we have the students, and then we have like, for example, student 1 has biology, student 4 has chemistry, and so on. Next, the third query that we have is this one has 3. So list the students along with their grades and the corresponding course name. So list the students according to like their grades and the corresponding course name. So here we have name, grade, and course name from students, inner join enrollments, and then we have courses again. So it's quite similar to the first one since we're using the same 3 tables. And if I like uncomment this and run it, then as you can see, we got the name. So we got the name from students. Then grade, I'm pretty sure is from enrollments if I remember correctly. So if I do enrollments here, yeah, grade is from enrollments. And then we have courses. So course name comes from courses, obviously. So then we were able to join these 3. So here we have select name, grade, and course name from students. Then inner join enrollment on student ID and enrollments ID, as we did over here, same thing. And then inner join courses on courses ID and enrollments. So it's like this bit is also the same basically. The only thing that we've done is that here this time we have taken like a column from the enrollments. So we took like the column grade from enrollments and like we actually trying to display it. Like for example, if I take grade away over here and run it, then you can see we have like the same result that we had earlier here. The only thing that we've done is like that we're taking grade. And this order also does not matter actually. Like if I decide that I want to take like name and I place it over here instead. So as you can see, this order is basically like how you want it to be displayed. It doesn't matter like which one you're joining first or second. It's just like the order you want it to be displayed in. So I want the name first, and I want the grade, and then I want the course name. So that's basically all I'm doing. Like that's basically why it's name first, then grade, and then the course name. So like this order has nothing to do with like how you're joining it.